Okay, we are talking again about functions, but we are talking about the variables today. Independent and dependent. Add on here variables. Independent and dependent variables. So a variable is a letter that represents something. So we need to know what the independent and dependent variables are of certain situations. So we first need to decide or know what an independent variable is. So we're going to type in here, click on insert a text box right here. I just clicked on the T. And we are going to write change in the independent variable. Make this bigger. Do another text box inside the arrow and put causes. And then the other one is change in the dependent. Okay, so change in the independent causes change in the dependent. Independent, you get to decide what you want as your independent. And then whatever you do to the independent is going to cause some kind of change on the dependent. Okay, so the X value is always the independent and the Y value is always dependent. So X and Y. So independent is your X and dependent is your Y. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Here are some examples. When identifying independent and dependent, it will be a word or letter, not a number. So if we look at this table right here, we have number of days and cost. Number of days being 1, 2, 3, cost being 150, 200, and 250. So we are going to write what the independent variable is. Independent is X. It's the one that causes change in the other one. So the number of days is your independent. We can plug in any number of days. So let's say this is talking about the cost for a hotel room. So the cost is going to depend on how many days you stay in that hotel. So the dependent is your cost. Okay, the next one, H of M. So anytime you see a function that has a letter outside and then the parentheses, that would be H of M equals 1500 minus 15M. So in this one, we don't know what h of m and m represent. We could only guess. So we are just going to write the variables. So our independent is our x value. So in this case, our x value would be m. Whatever m represents. We could make it up. What do y'all think m represents?
Money.
Money? Okay. I'm going to do a lowercase m. I don't know why I have uppercase. There we go. And then our dependent is h of m. Whatever that is. What do you think h of m would be? If m were to represent money, do what?
Hours, maybe?
Hours, maybe? Maybe you took out a loan for $1,500 and you're paying it back to your parents at $15 per. That wouldn't work out. I don't know. We could only make it up, so I don't know. Okay, let's look at the next one. Abdul brings reusable shopping bags from home whenever he goes to the store. The number of bags he brings is based on how many products are on his shopping list. Our two variables are B, the number of bags he brings to the store, and P, number of products on his shopping list. So what is our independent variable? Is it items on his shopping list or number of bags he brings? Which one depends on the other? Do what? Number of bags he brings to the store, but it says
Depends on the product, how many
products, yeah. So it's P. It's already written here, so I'm just going to do P, since we already know what the variable is. Number of products he puts on a shopping list. So if he plans on doing a big haul, it's for a whole month, then he's going to need to bring a lot of bags. But let's say he just goes for a few items for tonight's dinner. He'll probably only need 1 or 2 bags compared to when he's going for the full month. So let's do, so B is number of bags. So number of bags depends on how many items are on his shopping list. Okay, the next one. Drag and drop to identify the independent and dependent variable of each relationship. So I want you to go ahead and do this on your own. Let's see how you do. The items are over here, all underneath each other. See how they are? So read each one and decide which one's independent, which one's dependent. I'm going to pause it to give y'all time to do that. Okay, so you should be about finished with it. I'm gonna put down a little bit so I can see these a little better. The size of a plant will increase as the amount of water and sunlight increases. So basically you're looking for what can you control? Can you control the size of the plant or the amount of water and sunlight that is given? The amount of water and sunlight. So I'm gonna. So that is your independent. The one that you can control is your independent. So how much water and sunlight you give changes what? Or causes an effect in what? Size of the plant. These apart. Okay. The time it takes for a road trip depends on the distance and speed. So what can you control? Distance and the speed. So the distance and speed. There we go. And so what does that have an effect on? Time of the road trip. The amount of gas in a car decreases as the distance the car travels increases. So which one can you control?
The distance the car travels.
Um,
I
you can control both of them on this one, but you got to figure out which one's going to affect the other.
The gas in the car will affect how much distance you go.
Yes, my car is. I don't like getting gas in my car. Yesterday, I drove right past a gas station, and then the light ding, ding, 50 more miles, and I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna let my husband do it. I hate getting gas, so I can't go very far. I got to get my husband to get me some gas. So the amount of gas in the car is what you can affect, or what you can change. And whatever amount of gas in the car will determine how far your car will travel. Okay, so that is all there is to independent and dependent. It can be confusing though. So y'all do have an assignment. I have it on paper and I have it digital. So it depends on how you want to do it. But if you go here, this is the assignment. So let's read the instructions. Write the variables of each situation, then circle the dependent variable. So the variables are not given to you. You have to decide what they are. So you're going to assign them a letter and then also write what they are. So I'm going to get a little text box so I can write on here. If you want to do it on paper, you can do that too, but I'm going to go ahead and get us started on the digital one. Linda is taking a standardized test. The more questions she answers correctly, the greater her final test score will be. So what are the two variables?
Question.
So we can use Q. Q for questions what? Right, yeah. Number of questions answered correctly. And then what is the other variable?
T for test score.
T, yep, test score. And then we need to circle the dependent. So let's grab a little circle shape. Which one's dependent?
The test score.
Yeah, the test score, the grade. So you can circle it, but remember you're going to have to change this to transparent. So go up here, make it transparent. And then you can also change the color of it and the thickness. Oh, that's too thick. There we go. So that is our dependent. So you're going to do, there's just 7 problems on this. It's not too long. Once you finish, make sure to click turn in or mark as done. And that is it for today. So